Hey hockey fans, welcome to Goal Line Hockey. As today we are going to continue the season outlook series as we take a look at the Columbus Blue Jackets. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. Let's talk about the busy summer ahead for the Columbus Blue Jackets. So, coming into the year, the Blue Jackets had pretty high expectations, and you know, with guys like Panarin and Bobrovsky unsigned and pending free agents saying they wanted to leave, things were a little tough for the Blue Jackets. And they had a pretty good season, and toward the end of the season, heading into the trade deadline, they decided instead of selling off Panarin and Bobrovsky, that they would add. And they were making a push for this year. Unfortunately, they came up a little short, but they could have came up a lot shorter if if things didn't fall their way. So let's talk about that. So what I'm talking about is really Columbus didn't make the playoffs officially until one of the last games of the season against the New York Rangers. A really exciting game in Columbus, but the Rangers were not backing down. I think Columbus thought they would have an easier ride. The Rangers were looking to get a lottery pick, so they were going to probably, pull off the gas a little bit. Absolutely not. These two teams definitely have some bad blood for each other over the last couple of years. We've seen, Rick Nash dealt to the Rangers, and Dubinsky and Anisimov and all these other guys. Duclair ending up in Columbus at a point. So just a lot of movement of guys in between organizations. And so Columbus did make the playoffs, but imagine they didn't make the playoffs there. So remember that. So Columbus makes the playoffs. Great, they make the playoffs. They're already been playing playoff hockey now for a month, fighting for their lives. Oh, they have to play the Tampa Bay Lightning, who just had one of the best seasons in the post-salary cap era. And they're already beat up and tired. Unfortunately, everybody had, this is going to be an easy series for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Unfortunately, they were wrong with that because Columbus swept the Tampa Bay Lightning. The President's Trophy winning, historic season for the Tampa Bay Lightning, done in 4 games. Done. Just done. So, I think everybody right there, just for that, it was worth doing what the Blue Jackets did in getting Duchesne and Dzingel. And right there, they were able to beat a Tampa team that everybody expected to walk all over these Blue Jackets. Boy, were they wrong. And then, they head to the second round. And unfortunately, they play the Boston Bruins, who are now going to the Stanley Cup Final. So they lose in 6 games, and now those guys that you kind of had as your own free agent, your own, I don't know if I like this term, but like rental. And I think that's kind of, calling people a rental is a little, I don't know how I feel about that. But either way, they considered them their own rentals in Duchesne, Dzingel, who they were pure rentals. They traded for them, and Panarin and Bobrovsky. Now, this team is pretty good. And, we saw guys like Texier come up and play really well. And, the Monsters had a pretty good season in the American Hockey League, the Cleveland Monsters. So we'll see what happens with the Blue Jackets. And it seems like the future's still decently bright considering Jarmo Kekalainen seems to keep his job. If Columbus got swept in that first round, we might be talking about a different story. Or if they didn't make the playoffs, how different of a story this could have been. But things worked out for the Blue Jackets. They didn't win the Stanley Cup, but they had a pretty good run. And I hope that teams in the future load up at the trade deadline like the Blue Jackets did. I think it makes things more exciting. And it was definitely a tough couple of months for Blue Jackets fans leading up into the playoffs and in the playoffs. And, I think the big thing is can they keep these pending UFAs? Are they going to want to stay? Now, there's always been um, rumblings about players not liking playing, not enjoy playing under John Tortorella, who is the head coach of the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, that could possibly be why Panarin and Bobrovsky wanted to leave in the first place. Kekalainen adds two guys that were worth first and second round picks over the next couple of years, as well as some prospects. I don't know. This is are all four of these guys gonna just walk? I find that hard to believe, but I feel like the easiest guy to bring back would be Dzingel, and I don't think he wants anything to do with them. So this is going to be interesting. Bobrovsky's already put his condo up in Columbus for sale, so it seems like he's pretty much done there in Columbus. I think he's just waiting to make it official on July 1st. He probably already kind of has an idea of where he's going, and it's probably going to be the Florida Panthers. But I think so. I think a team like St. Louis would be a great fit for him. But now with Binnington playing as well as he has, he probably doesn't want a place where he has competition. So it's looking more and more like Florida, and the Oranges seem to be right down there, waiting for Bobrovsky. So other guys like Duchesne, there's already been rumors that he wants to go to Nashville. That could be a good fit for him. Overall, this is a pretty big, aggressive team, and we saw that in the second round against the Boston Bruins. And guys like Josh Anderson, I think, are really valuable to this team moving forward, especially Nick Foligno, Pierre-Luc Dubois. Like, those guys are going to be really important for this team. And not that Panarin and Bobrovsky leaving are, they're gonna feel the hit, but it depends on how well Kekalainen's done with the scouting, how he feels about his guys in the American Hockey League, and we'll see how his evaluation of his players are starting as soon as next year. So next year I have this team being a bubble team again, and again, this is kind of like the Islanders situation. I think we have to. It's such a big summer and a big shift for this team in terms of their players. So I think after July, we'll kind of have more of an idea of what this team looks like. But I have them as a playoff bubble team to be safe. I think they'll be at the very least a bubble team. So thank you for watching us here at Goal Line Hockey. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and a subscribe. I'll talk to you again soon. Have a good day.